So select the first rectangle, send it to 26. Select the second, set it to 26. Select the third, set it to 26, which is the original size. Select the final one, set it to 26 as well. Great. So now we have our variant. We're going to create a component set of this. Let's select all the icons, and then beside the components icon, click on the drop down and create a component set. Great. Before we do our connections, we'll create an instance of the category component. To do that, option drag once again. Right, so switch to prototype. The first thing we're going to do is to create the whole interaction. So we'll drag a link from the first variant to the second variant, and then we'll see the prototype setting. We'll click on the trigger menu and change it to while hovering. We'll set the while hovering setting to 300. And now let's test it to see if it works. Our hover works well. Great. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the click interactions. So we'll drag it to the down, maintain the on-click trigger, and then change the duration to 1500 milliseconds. Great. Using after delay, we'll actually use an instance for this as we turned off the icon fill that was behind before we start the animation. So we'll use an after delay of 1. Then we'll set this to 1. Now let's see what happens. When we test it, we hover and click, it fails and it's switched, but you don't know, we turn off the icon. The icon fail. Alright, so now we can start animating. So we'll drag the link to the next frame, use an after delay of 100, and then the duration, let's use 350 here. See how it goes. Let's change this to ease in and out. Let's change this to an after delay of 40 milliseconds and maintain the 350 duration. Same here, after delay of 40 milliseconds. Then we'll maintain the duration. Now let's preview to see how it works. When we hover, we realize that it works. When we click on it, it gets a little dancey thing. Our home icon works as well. Great. So next we're moving to the search icon. So we'll create a copy, Alt drag, Alt or Option drag. With our copy selected, we'll go to our layers panel, click on icon outline and click on the eye to turn it off. Click the drop down beside the icon fill group to view the further layers inside it. Click on the eye to display the icon fill. Okay, great. So the next thing is to create a click interaction. So we'll create a copy and then go to the layers panel and click on the drop down. Great. In the marks group, we'll select the wave once again using shift and the up arrow. We'll bring it up. Great. I wanted to do a little dancey thing, so create another copy, select the icon, move it here, and then select the icon once again, drag it, and then switch to the design tab, set the rotation to 0. So the next thing we'll do, where did I paste? So the next thing we'll do is we'll select all the frames and then we'll create a component set. With the component set created, let's create an instance of the search icon. With the component set created, we'll create the hover interaction. We'll drag to the next icon, use the while hovering trigger, and set it to 300 milliseconds. It works when we test it out. Great. So now move on to create the click interaction. So we'll drag it to the next variant, use the onClick command, set it to 1500. We are good to go. And the next thing, we'll drag it to the bottom. This time we're going to use the after delay trigger, set the delay to 100 milliseconds, then set this to 350 milliseconds. Drag it once again, after delay. This time our after delay will be 40 milliseconds, and then we'll maintain the duration. When we test it out, realize that it works. Great. So the next icon we're going to work on is the office icon. So to do that, using the alt or option drag again, we'll create a duplicate and we'll go to the layers panel, click on the icon fill group to turn it on and click on the icon outline to turn it off. We've created our hover state. The next thing will be to create our click state. So we'll create a duplicate, and then back to our layers panel, we'll click on the drop down beside the icon fill group, and inside the icon fill group we'll see the max group. Click on the icon to drop it down and view its constituents. Click on the wave icon and drag it to the top. That is our first interaction created, our first click interaction. So we'll create another copy to create the other click interaction. First thing we'll do, let's switch to design. First thing we'll do is reduce the length of this line. Create a duplicate again and move this eye to the top. Create a duplicate again and now extend the eye. Then we'll drag this down. There we have it. We've created a smiley face. So this is the interaction we're looking out for. So once we are done, we'll just create a component set with all these office frames. So we'll create a component set, switch to prototype. Before we do our connection, let's create an instance. Great. And then we'll connect to the second frame using the while hovering command. And then we'll set the duration to 300. Then we'll connect to the next frame using the onClick as we want. This is a click interaction. So we'll set this to 1500. Great, we're good to go. So the next thing we're going to do is to create the animation. This time we're going to use an after delay. After delay of 100 milliseconds, at duration of 350, I'm going to use an after delay of 40 seconds, and we'll maintain our duration. We repeat the settings here as well. Great. So once we finish with that, let's switch to design tab and make sure our icons are well tidied up. So preview it. And it works, though it's not how we want it to work, but it tries. Great. So the next icon we're going to work on will be the account icon. Following the previous procedures, we'll create a copy, select the icon, go into the layers panel, click on the eye icon to turn on the fill group, and then click on the eye icon to turn off the outline group. So let's create a copy once again. Go to the layers icon, click the drop down beside the icon fill group. In the mark, select the wave and drag it upwards. Great. So we'll create another duplicate, select the icon, rotate it a bit, create another duplicate, select the icon, rotate it towards the left, and create another duplicate, select the icon, and then send it back to its original. We'll select all these frames and create a component set. Great. So we'll create our hover interaction, switch to prototype, create our hover interaction. So while hovering, we have this, we'll set the duration to 300, and then the click, we'll set the click duration to 1500 milliseconds. And then for the rotation, we'll set it to an after delay. We want it to start rotating after 10 milliseconds. And then want it to happen in 350 milliseconds. Repeat these settings for the rest of the interaction. Make sure you drag to the next frame, as I said earlier. So we're going to use the 40 millisecond after delay. 350 is good. Drag it to the next frame after delay of 40 milliseconds. Great. Let's extend our frame. Switch to design, hold down Command or Control, extend the frame so that it doesn't affect the constraints of the icons. Create a copy of the icon. Alright, let's select make sure it's well tidied up, center aligned in the middle, and then we'll preview it. So we have icon works perfectly well. Perfectly well. Great, so that's it for this tutorial. We successfully created this micro interactions in Figma.